This is actually probably going to be the the most pleasurable um, a video I've made so far, and they've all been quite pleasing uh, for me anyway to share uh, thoughts about things as far whether they be a film review or something from my heart. But today I'm going to talk about who I consider to be the greatest star in the world. Uh, and of course, in my opinion, as a Christian, Jesus Christ is the greatest who ever lived and who still lives. But as far as entertainment value goes, and those who know me, especially when it comes to film or stuff, I'm like not too big on entertainment, more into films of dramatic appeal or the exploration of the human condition. But this video is going to be about the greatest star, and she said it. I didn't say it, but she said it in Funny Girl, and that's Barbra Streisand. So it's oh, and I'm not too south. I'm sorry. Um, and I'm sorry about that, but Barbra Streisand. What can I say? I'm looking around my room right now in my house, and I have definitely more pictures of her on my wall than any other persona out there. I have a picture of the Hours. I have a picture of Jessica Lange. And I don't know if you can see behind me on the wall. There's a picture of James Dean. I think he's saying something like "Live your life one day at a time" or "Live your life like you're gonna die today" or something. But if you look underneath that, you can see those three pictures in a row are all Barbra Streisand. And so let me, if I can go back, as I would like to talk about what my experience was like when I was first introduced to Barbra Streisand. I think I mean, I just liked her. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I started liking her music maybe first. I'm not sure. But what I remember distinctly, and this is many, many years ago, and for somebody like me who has a very poor memory, I can remember this moment in time uh, uh, as vividly as I can recall, but I can certainly access what my emotional reaction was. And what happened was this was in Lafayette, Louisiana, where I was born and raised. And a movie she was in called Funny Girl was on TV on I think Channel 15, and it was like 3 hours because it's quite a long movie. And I remember the quality of the film was not very good because it was that TV station wasn't very good. But anyway, so I sat down and I started watching this film, and I just was at a place in my life where I never thought I would amount to anything. And so I watched this movie, Funny Girl, with Barbra Streisand, and I was just captivated because, and as I've said before so many times with the actors or even just your fellow human being, when someone can display so many different emotions and access so many different emotions, it's quite jarring to me and quite um, uh, it's just something to behold. And so I watched this film, and I watched this woman with who seemed to have as big a nose as I did. Maybe mine was bigger. Maybe hers is bigger. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see her nose. I just saw her, and I saw her be funny. I saw her be dramatic. I saw her be forlorn. I saw her be melancholic. I saw her be joyful, gentle, kind. I mean, I saw an actress perform uh, a role that I couldn't even. I mean, I don't even want to describe the role because it's a brilliant performance. I mean, she won an Oscar for it, and that's not even, that doesn't even come close to what that film did for me. Because what happened was, when the film was done, I distinctly remember, after having laughed in the film, which is rare for me, and having cried in the film, which is not rare for me. And I remember thinking, after the film was over, I thought to myself that, and maybe I did recognize that she had a big nose, but I definitely recognized that she was kooky and she didn't fit the image of the Hollywood leading lady, and she had a leading lady role, romantic leading role. And I thought, I could actually maybe be somebody. Maybe I could amount to something. And you just can't take that away. Uh, that reaction, that feeling. And over the years, my adoration, respect, love, and I can't think of another word. All those things have never really faded from my memory or my heart when it comes to Barbra Streisand. And like I do with my review of my films, I'm tempted to look back and say, why was this on my favorite film list? What was it about it? So, in talking about Barbra Streisand, what is it about Barbra Streisand that appeals to me so much? Like I said, Funny Girl was a film that I saw that I thought, maybe I could become something in this world. Maybe I had talents that I didn't know. Because this was at a time when I was being heavily bullied at school, and I didn't think I was anything. I didn't think I was worth nothing. And I remember that film being so revolutionary for me. Uh, and over the years, I can't remember how I was in the 11th or 12th grade, I think, when I saw it. So it was many, 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 many years ago, many moons ago. And like I said, it hasn't paled uh, my response to my calling her the greatest star. Um, and I know I'm not alone in that. I know, especially with gay men, I'm not alone with that. um, but I was thinking, when I was watching, I think I was watching a documentary about her making of the Broadway album, and she was being interviewed, and I was watching it, and I was trying to take notes in my mental notes of what it was that she was talking about in the making of that Broadway album. When a lot of people said, like, you can't make an album about Broadway tunes. Nobody's gonna buy that or whatever, and it's one of her best albums. Um, but what I love about Barbra Streisand, a she doesn't fit that cookie cutter image of how somebody should look, at least by Hollywood standards. She's daring. Barbra Streisand has accomplished things as an entertainment, a woman, a female entertainer, that no other female has. She has directed herself in Yentl. Uh, she has enacted in it at the same time and directed other films after that, when women directors were just not even heard of. And here she was with Yentl, where she had so much uh, access and control of that film. And a lot of people didn't like the film, and I think a lot of people didn't like the film because they felt like she had so much, it was a power trip for her. But I can tell you, from the many readings I've read of the film, and haven't seen the film as many times as I have, and know what she did to get it made, which took years, that she had a great love for that story. And that love called her to do more than just be in it, or just direct it. She had to be hands on with it. And I remember distinctly, she was getting a lot of criticism from the press, that she was being very controlling with the actors and all this. And then one day, the actors all signed this sheet of paper saying how much they loved working with her, and how much she was so giving as a director and all that, and they all signed it. So that just shows to me that Hollywood, which was at that time made up of a lot of men, were just threatened by her. But that didn't stop Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand also is very androgynous. She's very female. She's very feminine, and yet she has the male, at least by society standards, she has a male drive to to push the envelope, to go places that somebody might say you can't go there. You know, you're a woman. You can't. You know, whatever. She has that sort of, and I don't know what that has to do with androgyny, but when she played Yentl, you know, she played a boy in the film. She becomes Ancho, her brother. She uses her brother's name who died, and she becomes Ancho, and she plays a man. It's a brilliant performance, by the way. I mean, I think the directing was brilliant, but her performance was just as brilliant. And so and then we get into her music, which her music is so, she doesn't sing about stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like with movies. I mean, movies can be entertaining, but they can also be quite profound. And I think the same thing goes with her music. I mean, she could sing all these songs that are just all about, you know, hokey love and hokey this and hokey that, but she sings about songs that she knows uh, she can she can access as an actress. And she said it before. I'm number one, I'm an actress, and number two, I'm a singer. And I think most people would want to reverse that because they know her so well as a singer. But she wanted to be an actress when she first started off, and somehow her voice just got noticed. And I think what she brought to, which was something like even when Judy Garland was popular, and Judy Garland, by the way, was very jealous when she first appeared on the Judy Garland show, Barbra Streisand, because she felt like she was stealing her thunder. But Barbra Streisand wasn't stealing her thunder so much as bringing to singing what nobody else was bringing, and that was, as she sang, because she had that actress in her, she would sing a song and it would be like a little play, because she would play a character in her songs, and not many singers at that time were doing that, and not many singers are doing that now, and but she was one of a kind to do that. So all those things said, you know, she really is the greatest star. She's the only entertainment female entertainer that I know who has won an Oscar, a Tony, an Emmy, uh, a Grammy, and there's a fifth one. But she's won all of the major awards you can win in the entertainment value in the entertainment industry. I think Rita Moreno might be tied with her. I think, um, but you know, and Barbra Streisand, you know, has been up against walls of criticism and walls of you can't do this and you can't do that, but she has broken through all those barriers, and that's what makes her so unique and so special. And like I said, I'll never forget Funny Girl. I'll never forget the feeling I was left with after watching that film. And I still, I still think to this day when I win an award, if I ever win an award, and I don't care if I do or not, but I will definitely thank her because she, watching Funny Girl, instilled in me the fact that maybe I could become something. And she is, you know, she is the greatest star. She really is. And you know, another thing about her, you know, is that when she first started off, a lot of people were saying, "Well, you gotta fix your nose," and they said something about her eyes were too far apart, and she had to do. There was all this talk about her external appearance not fitting the mold, and she wouldn't change none of that. They asked her to change her name, in fact, and she, because her name was Barbara, Barbara, and they wanted her to change her complete name because it was too Jewish. And she said no. So she said, I'll do this. I'll drop an A for my name. So she's Barbra. She's the only one that I know with the name Barbara that's not spelled like the traditional Barbara. So she always was willing to bend a little bit, but not at the price of her integrity and what she believed about herself and how much she believed in herself. And people talk a lot about her politics and how she's too political and all that. But you know what? When you are at the fame level that she's at, or at the level that she has of the power that she has, and she uses that power to seek justice, to to do right in the world. I mean, that's, like I said, once again, that scares people who are in authority because they're like, no, we do it this way, and we know this way works, and we don't know your way we don't know anything about your way, but we don't want to take a chance with your way working. But she's just like she has that much pull that she can say like, hey, if I'm gonna make a Broadway album, I'm gonna make a Broadway album. If I'm gonna direct myself in Yentl, I'm gonna direct myself in Yentl. You know, she's got that kind of power, and she doesn't misuse it. She uses it to bring light to issues that she cares about, and uh, and that's probably what makes her the greatest star too. There are many facets. This thing could go on for a long time. I probably, um, like I said, I'm just looking around my room and I see her pictures of her everywhere because I like to look at her. I like her presence, and and you know, I have a lot of favorite actresses as I mentioned before, and she's definitely on my top 10, but she's not number one. Number one is right there, Jessica Lange. Um, but but as far as the greatest star, whatever that means, I guess maybe we have to define that. What makes a great star? And I can, like I said, I can go on about that too. But in my opinion, what makes a great star is somebody just for the reasons that I just listed. And she will always be my number one as far as uh, someone in entertainment that I look up to and who inspires me. And you know, she hasn't made a film in quite a while, so I don't know what she's been up to, but I know she's continues to make music, thank God, and her voice is great. And oh, I forgot to mention one of the greatest moments of my entire life, my friends, was I think it was 2003. I had gone to my computer because I knew she was going on tour. And it turns out she was going to be in San Jose, California, not close to Louisiana or Austin, Texas, where I was living. But it just so happened I had a friend who was living in San Jose, California, and she was going to be in performance on November 13th of 2003, and November 13th is my birthday. And I knew that I had to buy a ticket and get to San Jose and see Barbra Streisand in concert before, you know, before I die. And I did that. I paid the ticket to get to San Jose. My friend let me stay at his house that night of the performance. I walked into the room. My friend Alex will tell you that I left him a voicemail, and he to this day he actually has that voicemail still in his recording because he loves listening to it because I was so excited. And I remember calling my mom too, and I was like, Mom, I said, Mom, I'm in the lobby, and Barbra Streisand is in this room somewhere, in this same place that I'm in. And my seat was so high up. I mean, I could have got a nosebleed, but I don't care. I just knew that I was in the same room with someone that I admired more than anybody else. And what a great moment that was. That's one of the greatest moments of my entire life, was to be in a room with Barbra Streisand and see her in performance. I cried like the first song she sang. I think it was a French song. I just wept like a baby because I just could not believe I was in the same room with her. And like I said, one of the greatest moments of one of the greatest stars, the greatest star that I know. Thank you for letting me share this at 5:30 in the morning. I was pretty lucid for the most part. So blessings to you all, and thank you so much for listening. Amen.